Hello and welcome to another episode of the Agency Success GPS. I am your humble host, Goff. Today I am talking with Joe Teo from HeyOrca. Joe kind of saw a need in the market for a ground-up built for agencies, by agencies, social media platform. One of the hardest things you can do is validate your hard efforts, your hard work when it comes to the organic post and things along those lines. Joe has cracked the code on that. Joe and his staff have actually built this platform from the ground up to be productized. So therefore, you can save templates, you can save kind of workflows, you can save all these types of things to help productize the social media. And that's what we talk about today, how to productize social media utilizing his platform, HeyOrca. Hope you enjoy the episode.
Hello everyone, Goff here, Agency Success GPS podcast. Thanks everyone for joining us again. Today on the show, I have a guy named Joe. I'm gonna say your last name. Huh?
Joe Teo.
Teo. Okay. All right. I told you I was gonna slaughter that. And I remember last week when we were talking about it. Anyway, I told you I was gonna mess that up, and I told you to mess that up. All right. So cool. Joe Teo actually founded and started a company called HeyOrca. A lot of you have probably heard about it. It is one of the dominant platforms out there for social media management, for social media marketing agencies out there today. We're going to be talking about how to productize. Now, everybody out there knows I am a disciple of productization for agencies. I taste tested it in my first agency, Get You Wired, right here, and I saw how it made everything so much easier, right? So whenever you can actually build it once, sell it 1,000 times type of mentality, like these Legos and my productization product that I'm always talking about and coaching my students on. After talking to Joe and taking a look at this HeyOrca platform, I was like, man, this is awesome. This is like, these are the pieces of the puzzle you're always looking for. And so let me give you an example, okay? Again, the name of the platform is HeyOrca. Joe, how long have you been in business, man? I didn't even ask it. How long have you been in business?
Yeah, we've been around for 5 years now.
Okay, 5 years. So they've been working on this probably for about 7 years. Knowing if you're an entrepreneur like me, you probably, you've been out there planning on this. So content approval, big deal. We're going to talk about that today, okay? It's by far the biggest question I get. Joe has some amazing solutions around how to get content approved. How to reporting. We're always trying to validate your work, especially in organic social media marketing. How do you validate all that hard effort, right? So, Joe, we're going to talk about that today. And Joe doesn't know this. I've already been on his site and cruising, trolling. Joe, getting some all kind of questions going, okay? And we're going to talk about this today. Joe, before we get started, tell us about Joe and tell us about HeyOrca.
Yeah, I'm Joe. I am the CEO of HeyOrca. I like to call myself the Chief Executive Orca of HeyOrca. We're actually based in Newfoundland, Canada, so really, really far. Actually, we're an hour and a half ahead of Eastern time. So if you guys think that you're actually the most easternly place in North America, we're actually an hour and a half ahead of you guys. So that's really good because we get to get up before our customers and be able to serve them really well. So what HeyOrca is a social media management platform purpose-built for social media agencies. So what we really focus on is really the client experience that your clients are going to experience when they're actually interacting with the content that you've produced. So we help you create, our platform allows you to create, get approvals, publish, and then get the reporting that your clients will understand. All in one place. So what we focus here and how we're different from other social media management platform is that we're always focused on the end client experience, because we know that if your clients are happy, we get a happy agency, and then we get great customers as well. So that's sort of like how we work backwards in building that software.
Like a happy wife equals happy life kind of thing.
Yeah, happy client,
happy, and your life's okay, right? Okay. And the thing that hit me in that comment was it was built from the ground up. This is not like a Hootsuite thing that was built for companies to manage it. This was built, obviously has a lot of the same features too.
Yeah.
But it's built from the ground up for an agency to come in there and manage hundreds of their clients and provide all of the tools they need in a single interface to manage all of them, right?
Yeah, 100%. So, just to talk about our origin story, I graduated from college in 2014. And at the last year of college, I actually realized that people would pay you to manage the social media account. And this is when, small businesses are starting to realize the importance of social media. And so me and my friends, we started a social media agency right out from college, and people started hiring us to manage their social media presence. So we were using Hootsuite. That's the dominant platform at that time. And we realized that there's no good way to involve our clients into our content creation process without them being overwhelmed, right? So we tried a lot of things. We tried inviting them to Hootsuite, then they had to pay for another user seat. so forth, and do the back and forth. And then we tried using spreadsheets and Google Docs, which a lot of agencies are using, because that's probably the best middle ground because they understand Google Docs. And so we did that for like a year, a little bit more than a year. And, we sat down one day and said, we just can't scale the agency. So it actually started with a scaling problem because we reached actually not really far, like 5 clients.
Yeah.
We started getting scaling problems because we were bogged down by, inefficient process, right? And like, everything.
Yeah, I have a student going through this. I mean, living this right now. And my final question today I prepared for this is actually all about that. So we're going to talk about that in detail today.
Yeah, for sure. So that's when we actually started hitting roadblocks. Was that that's the most efficient that we could think of. And you get a Dropbox folder, you get a Google setup, and you get a social media posting tool. How much more efficient can you get? So we started talking with other social media agency owners around town, and one of our early customers, Crystal Hobbs from Reflective Marketing, shout out to her. She gave us the idea. She basically asked us, what if Google Sheets had a baby with Hootsuite? What would that look like?
That is hilarious. Wait, what was that? Hootsuite?
Yeah.
Be like a hoot sheet. Anyway, whatever. So go. Hoot sheet junior or something. Anyway, whatever. But anyway,
that was the question. What if there was a client friendly?
Anyway.
Yeah. What would that look like if there's a client friendly Hootsuite? And so that's when we first got a wheel spinning in our head, and we started experimenting with our own clients. Right. We started building an interface that they can come in, interact with it, see exactly what the content's going to look like, give us real-time feedback, and then we do the posting as well. And so that's when we first started, and we started experimenting with our client base. And then more and more agencies came to us and said, hey, can we use your client-facing tool? So at the time, we didn't have a name. They just call it client portal, or client approval system. Can we use that? And then, so me and my partner, we basically looked at each other and we said, hey, we could go down building agencies, or we can build a software that can benefit more agency owners around the world. And we're starting to see people starting to start agencies more and more because, the barrier is so low. And so 2015 was when we went all in, and we came up with the name HeyOrca. It took us 6 months to come up with the name. But we started with HeyOrca. We started selling to agencies in Newfoundland first, local, and then Canada, and then we started getting adoption in North America.
So how did you come up with the name? I want to know. How did you? I mean, in Newfoundland, that's up there pretty high. I mean, you got orcas swimming off the coast or something. I mean, what's that? How's that mean?
Yeah, it's really.
I always wondered, how did you come up? And then we got to get into these questions. But how did you come up with the name? It's a cool name.
Yeah, no, it's really, really tough because we didn't want to sound corporate-y. We also want something that sounds fun, that we can do. We knew we wanted a mascot, right? So that was the first thing that we thought about. It needs to be something memorable, something that doesn't sound like an enterprise software. And after 6 months, we started doing word combinations, because it's really hard to get .com domain at that time, and then now as well.
Oh, yeah.
So we started to ask ourselves, okay, there's going to be a social media platform. How do we say hi in as many possible ways? So we started with hi, hello, hey, and going through the list. And then on the other hand, we wanted something that, pays tribute to where we came from, the Atlantic provinces. And also we wanted something that's social. So we were inspired by MailChimp, but we definitely didn't want a chimp. We wanted some kind of social animal. So we went to Google. We Googled, the world's most sociable creatures.
And I was about to, I was wondering if that played a part in it, because they're also one of the most intelligent, and the way that they communicate is unbelievable. They're still trying to figure it out. They will communicate from miles away to say, come lean in, and they'll surround the seal pod and push them up onto islands. I've seen Dr. Can't tell, I like Discovery Channel. But anyway, I was going to ask if that played a part in it. The collaboration, the team collaboration between just the orca species is phenomenal. It's like a wolf pack, but underwater, right? It's
100%. Yeah. So we went through the name. So actually, the most intelligent species is actually a pig.
Yeah, I've heard that.
They're actually very intelligent, but we're like, okay, that's not a really good branding. We go through.
Hey, pig. I don't think that's gonna work. I don't think that'd be a good branding thing. It'd be memorable, but it wouldn't be a good.
And then there's obviously chimp, which is taken, and then orca is one of them. So we actually, and one of the contenders was actually raccoon, hello raccoon as well. So we were like, so we actually went and tested out with our friends and our customers, asked them which one actually sounds better. And, HeyOrca was the dominant choice. And HeyOrca.com was available. The social media handles were available. It just, seemed like it was meant to be. And so we really lean into the whole Orca sort of idea. And we even called it the pod, right? Because
I think I just called it a pod, but it's super neat. I'm telling you, it's impressive to see those. Like they filmed them from way up before. I'm sure you've seen this. Helicopters, and they'll actually see them. And then they have mics in the water, so they're coordinating the sounds to the movement, right? And they actually whatever the noise is. I'm not going to start making that. They're communicating. And sure as hell, man, they'll run this way and this way. It's just like a wolf pack where they're surrounding and coming around. They're planning ahead, and they come up and they blow bubbles and they freak them out, and they, it's really neat. So, all right. So we're going to unpack that first part. I'm going to bring it back about 5 minutes. Okay. Got 4 topics we're gonna talk about today that I went through, and these are the topics that I hear from my students and I've heard over the years, or I've had issues with, or whatever. Again, content approval. Oh my gosh, that's the 800-pound gorilla. So we're just gonna go ahead and tackle that and get it out of the way. The reporting and validating all that hard work that they do. That I hear that all the time. People say, "Oh man, my clients, they love us at first, but after about 90 days, we can't show from the organic social media side of things to validate the efforts." Right. So I want to discuss that a little bit. Remote and multiple team members. This is a big deal. And then the client management, right? So those are the 4 topics, and so let's just go ahead and dive off into that. Okay. I want to start with, again, content approval. This is by far the number one thing I hear from my clients who manage social media marketing campaigns. You and I were discussing the visualization post feature, okay? And this is on your site. You and I talked about this, I think it's last week or whatever. Discussing the visualization post feature and how this is changing the game.
Yeah.
Once you're getting content approved, right? And so, are there other platforms to do? I don't recall other. I don't manage a ton of them. So if there are a bunch out there and I'm an idiot, then just say I'm an idiot. That's fine. So, but I'm not sure if other platforms do this. And basically, what it is it literally visualizes the actual post as if it's going to be put out on Facebook or Instagram or whatever for the client to see. So from the client's perspective, this is exactly what it's going to look like. And I thought that is a game changer, man. That's brilliant. And elaborate on how that came to be and how it's helping agencies out there. Again, how does it make their lives easier? That's ultimately what we're here to do.
100%. So there are actually tools out there right now that are incorporating that feature in because, they realize it's so valuable when you're actually trying to get a sense of the content. But I would argue that we were the first, if not one of the first, that actually started that. So the reason actually, if you think about it, it's not about the visualization. It's about getting your clients to understand what you're actually doing for them. So that's really the problem that we're trying to solve, not a visualization problem.
Well, the visualization is a tactic to solve the strategic issue.
Exactly. So if you think about it, so when we were managing our social media agency, we realized that the problem is not that we're not doing enough work. The problem is getting the clients to understand what is being done for their brand and present it in a way that they can really get it and go on their way. It can be just a minute.
They can look at it at a glance and go, yeah, that looks great. And I mean, in other words, because I always hear clients just will not stop and take the time to approve the content. They just will not slow down enough. They're always like, I'm too busy. That's what I'm paying you for, right? That kind of mentality. Yeah. This seems to kind of close that gap between where you are and where they are. Is it proven to be effective in that?
So there are 2 things about the feature, and it's not just the visualization feature as well. It's really the unique way in which we get your clients to review. So I'll talk a little bit about that. But you think about getting your clients on the same page as you. You need to think about, how do you bring them to a common ground where they can understand what you're doing for them. And number 2, how do you communicate enough information, not all of the information. Another thing that we always say is transparency. Transparency is not about communicating everything to everyone. It's communicating the right things to the right person at the right time. So that's how, it influences us in terms of building our products. And so when you use HeyOrca, you get to choose what your clients get to see. So your clients don't get to see everything. It's kind of like a Lego block. You choose to share as many Legos as you want. It's the most relevant Legos of content that your clients see. That's the one that you want them to approve, because you don't want to share, the next month or things that you're still in progress, right? So that's why you end up with a lot of client version 1, client version 2, final client copy, and you send it over to them. With HeyOrca, everything is in one place. You pick and choose what you want to share with them. They only see what you share with them, and it's really, really client friendly. They don't have to have an account. They just click on the link that you send them, the secure link, and then they'll see only the content that you pick for them, and then they hit approve or not approve, and then they're able to give you comments as well. And the comments are split between agency comments and client comments. So if you're working with an outsourced team, your clients are not seeing the comments that you're leaving for your outsourced team. Your clients are.
What? Let's go ahead and lead into that. I'll change your order on the questions, and let's get into that content team, the remote. Team members, right? So I got a question around that, so I'm going to ask that question. Let's just continue down that path. Is that cool with you?
Yeah.
All right, cool. How does Orca handle those type of situations? Because a good example is one of my coaching students. He's in Australia, and his content prep team is what he calls it. Because you're right, that they do not interface with the clients. All they do is prep content and put it into a platform or whatever it might be for his team, his project managers to review it. That's that editorial process, I guess is what I would call it. Is that kind of an editorial kind of approval process before the clients hit? So, let me, actually, I got a specific question. This one's for Mark. Mark, when you're watching and listening to this one's for you. Okay, Mark? So let me be a little more specific. I actually have a student, again, Mark, okay? And he does unbelievable work in the restaurant space. It's freaking awesome. And his content prep team is in the Philippines, okay? And the reason I ask this is because his project managers in Australia working with the content prep team, okay? How can Orca help to streamline and most importantly set up editorial guidelines? Because this is what's happening in his case. He and I are working through this because it's the expectation level gap between being a business owner to business owner as opposed to a skill set. Okay, so let me explain. Project managers just don't understand how entrepreneurs think. We move fast, we make quick decisions. We don't like to be bogged down in things, but we know it when we see it kind of mentality, okay? And he's having a hard time getting his content prep team to understand the quality that needs to go out. So they'll put out a video sometimes that's just not world class or an image that doesn't physically represent the products or the food dishes that they're serving at that restaurant, and it drives them nuts. It absolutely drives them nuts. How does HeyOrca help with that? I mean, can you set up editorial guidelines and things like that in HeyOrca? Is that available or anything like that?
Yeah, you can, because we actually are actively tackling this problem. One of the things that we believe in is that the biggest value that you can add to your clients is actually not the tactical work. It's actually your expertise and your relationship. That's actually what you should focus on as an agency owner. Tactical stuff, you can always outsource it. But how do you sort of stay in sync with your outsourced team?
Right. Quality. When you outsource it, the quality goes through the basement. So how do you outsource it while keeping the quality up?
Yeah, 100%. So with HeyOrca, just to talk about how we solve this problem, HeyOrca has a notes section with every client. So you can actually attach specific guidelines according to your client. So HeyOrca is laid out in a way that every client has its own environment. So if you make a note around, this is the persona we're going for. These are the words that we use. These are words that we don't use. These are hashtags that we're using and store that within HeyOrca. And then second of all, on the calendar itself, you're able to mark up the calendar in terms of what is happening in that week. So let's say if we're having, a sale for this, let's say Margarita Day, right, on Saturday.
And also you have the bottomless drink thing. It's like $30 you drink and you pass out kind of thing. So
yeah, so you can actually put it on the calendar and then put notes on the calendar as well, saying we need 2 posts around a picture of a margarita drink, and use these hashtags, and you're able to sort of like leave comments before they even start building. The other thing is as well is that you're able to see an audit trail of who actually touched the content, who created it, who approved it, and then when did it go out. So everything is logged within HeyOrca so that all of the relevant information is always in one place. You don't have to sift through emails because the system does it for you.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's really cool. And so that audit trail also helps for internal reporting. So in Mark's experiencing this, he's actually I can't remember what he called it. It's like an issues or like a troubleshoot log. So every time there was an issue, they had to go physically log it into this thing so they could see from a visualization point aspect all the mistakes they made that week. And this system sells us even 10 times better than that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and you can leave internal comments as well, right? So your outsourced team, although they're working on the same calendar, that's the same calendar your clients are seeing. However, your clients are not seeing them working on it because you haven't chose to share it with them. Yep. And then the other thing as well, when you're chatting with your outsourced team, you actually have a separate stream of comment. So you can actually leave comments that's only specific or intended for the agency people.
Like internal communications.
Yeah, so if you think about it,
you can decide to share it to the public.
Exactly.
Yes, that's cool. All right, let's lean into after that. Okay, so that's going to be leading into reporting. Okay, again, they have a hard time showing. It takes a lot of work to do this content prep, and I have to admit, as an entrepreneur, I don't respect how much time it takes to do it.
Yeah,
I don't, and I'm in the damn space. Let me phrase that. I do now because I have done it, but as a rule of thumb, we entrepreneurs are like, whatever, they just throw it up there. Of course, if you just throw it up there, they're going to like, are you serious? You're fired. So reporting, how do we, what kind of reporting do you have in HeyOrca to help them really every month or week or whatever it is? And do you have any automated reporting? I don't know I might be totally under the bus on this one. I don't know if you have that or not. But, where you can kind of send out reports and show engagement levels and click-throughs and things like that. You got anything like that?
Yeah, so basically the way we approach reporting, again, is from the client standpoint. What are some of the things that the clients need to know to be able to make a decision on whether you did a good job or a bad job? And so after talking to our clients, we built a reporting feature that actually shows productivity numbers. So it actually shows you the number of amount of content that you've created over the past, range of time. Because, usually as an agency, you have an SLA around how many content you're going to be, how productive you're going to be for them, right?
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Okay. That's cool. Yeah.
And then after that, it goes down to things that we think the clients care about based on, talking to our customers. So your top content. So a lot of clients want to know what content is working and what's not. And so we visualize the top 10 posts and they can click through to it too. So it's interactive. And so when they get the report, they can just click on the post. It actually brings them to the original post itself, and they'll be able to see which one's working, what's not. We tally up the engagement, so stuff that you get from other social media management platforms. We put it here as well, and then you're able to see your page growth like over time. You'll be able to see how fast it's growing, and we're actually in the process of beefing it up even more this year. So Q3, Q4. We'll be releasing a second version of the report that's going to be, more advanced, allows our users to do a lot more things.
Pretty charts, man. Entrepreneurs like pretty charts. So whenever you're doing it, put together pretty charts. I'll get They love them. They love them. I swear you can give them a spreadsheet that just told them they won the lottery. They will like, oh, what is this crap? They'll throw it away. You can give them a bar graph that says they want a Coke, and they're like, oh my God, this bar graph's the best. It's so crazy how that works. So true. So, all right, final question, man. Client management. All right, one of the things I'm most excited to talk about, we're going to spend a little time on this. Okay, it seems like HeyOrca has some features in it that, in my opinion, and again, I'm not a social media marketing expert. Okay, I built a kind of what I call an old school. We add digital assets, massive marketing automation campaigns, but at the time, social media just wasn't a thing. Well, it was, but it wasn't not like it is now, right? Okay, so anyway, it looks like you got some really cool tools in there when it comes to client management. So let me give a couple of examples that I found over here, and we've already talked about a lot of them. Audit trails, right? So the ability to be able to have those audit trails. So whenever you have a team member that's not doing very good, you can drill down and confirm that they're not doing very good. Quality assurance, that audit trail thing seems really cool. So I want to dive into that just a little bit further. Okay. Holding the clients accountable. It seems like you've got amazing tools in there. For example, holding them accountable to actually content approval, and you've made it so easy on them. I think you have a text message approval thing in there, right?
Yeah, so the text message, it's not for approval, but it's more so to get content. So what we realized is that clients actually are already taking pictures in their restaurant. So how do you get those pictures? You don't have to download an app. You just text a phone number, so we can generate it and let them for you.
Oh, that's badass. That's badass. That's cool.
Your team.
They just got whatever they got on their phone. You just tell them, it doesn't matter, whatever you got, just and pre-program the number to their phone. Anytime you have an idea, just take a photo and send it to us.
100%. Yeah. So that goes right into the specific, client space that you've set up.
Wow, and each client has its own little number that goes straight ahead. That is cool. And the other one is like automated content approval reminders. So just to recap that, okay, the audit trails, holding the clients accountable, the text message approval, and the automated content approval reminders is what I kind of found on the HubSpot. Well, I'm sorry, on the HubSpot. HeyOrca client. That makes it a lot easier for agency owners to get out there and manage their clients. So let's unpack that a little bit, okay? So again, the audit trails. This I think we already talked about that a pretty good bit, and I'm sure that other platforms have it. But this is a big deal. If you're going down the path of starting an SMMA agency, or you're already down the path and you're having a hard time scaling, getting the right type of labor in place, this is the tool that you use to do it. So you hire a team. Get out there, audit the hell out of them for 30 days. If they are not up to your standards, get rid of them and find another team and continue that audit process. Is there anything you want to add to that, or you feel like we've already covered that? Or
no, that's 100%. So the way we built it is allowing social media, agencies to scale. And the way we actually price our product as well is based on the number of clients you have. So we actually don't limit you in terms of the number of users you have. You can have as many users as you want, as many social profiles as you want on a single calendar, because we believe that the way we make you successful is when you can get more clients. And so the way we charge is actually per client. And so the way we think about our product, the way we position ourselves, the way we price our product is very agency centric, right? If you look at a lot of MarTech tools out there, they're all really great. However, the agency track is always a reseller track, or a second sort of like afterthought for us. That's our bread and butter. Like we started, just trying to solve agency problems, and so when we build our product, these are the kind of things that we put in place so that agency people will find it the most useful. And where we find, people getting dissatisfied, or people that are just wanting to do social media management. So you just need to publish content. Buffer is probably just your best bet. However, if you're an agency, you have an outsourced team, you have a remote team, and you have multiple clients, and you're trying to stay on top of all the process and the requirements. That's who we built HeyOrca for. It's for social media agency owners.
You're about to surpass 500 agencies using this thing, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to blow that out of the water this year. Maybe you hit way out of the water. So in other words, you're not dreaming this shit up in the back end.
Yeah,
you're
no.
getting feedback from hundreds of SMMAs.
Yeah, so we built it from the ground up, right? Everything that you see in HeyOrca is thought through from a lens of an agency professional.
Yeah.
Why would they need this? Like reporting. It's not really reporting. It's about pretty graphs, right?
It really is. It's about explaining the value of hard work. It's about it's the visualization, the physical visualization of all the hard work you've done for the last 30 days or a week or whatever.
Yeah.
It's accumulation.
If you talk to an in-house marketer, they might not understand that because they don't have to, be accountable to so many external people. But then you talk to an agency person, it's totally different. Their stress level, I would say, is compounded more because they have so much more to manage. And so that's sort of like our motto, our slogan at HeyOrca as well. We say we help agencies take back their day because there's not enough time. There's not only so much content to manage, but client expectations as well. And so one way we feel we can actually give back time is if we can allow process, and if you can get your process down pat, then you can focus on the people. You can focus on delivering the best product, and that's sort of like how we were thinking.
We were talking about this right before we came on air, actually, about how a lot of people in the digital marketing and social media marketing space are focused on the tactical side, right? Where it's just producing content. And you and I are talking about, you have to evolve out of that space and become a business owner. And that business owner, like you notice, everything out of his mouth is all about the client experience. Everything out of my mouth is all about making agency owners' lives easier. My client experience. Notice how we are not talking about super geeky technical stuff, because the cold hard truth is I had 23 programmers who worked for me and I couldn't write one line of code.
Yeah.
Why do they work for a country boy from Mississippi? These guys are graduating from Duke, Georgia Tech, MBAs, working for this guy. Because I didn't take my eye off the ball. I focused on the client experience, and I focused my craft around business, building a business, of which, by the way, is a craft, just like writing code. And you have to spend the 10,000 hours to become a master of that, just like you do it at doing design. And that's what you've done here, is you've really taken the business side of social media management and made it 10 times easier to manage your clients, manage multiple team members, validate and report your hard efforts, content approval, everything. I'm telling you, that text message approval, that's effing brilliant. How come I haven't seen? No, I'm sorry, not approval. I'm sorry. Text message content, whatever creation, whatever the hell you want to call it. That is awesome. That is like,
we should probably market it more because that's actually
you definitely should. Yeah, you definitely should. And by the way, if you're SMMA out there, I'm having a hard time with that, but that's a game-changing feature. You sell based upon that. Hey, yeah, go out there and just tell them, yeah, every time you or your staff give this phone number to 3 key members of your staff, and every time they see a dish or they get a happy customer, do a selfie, send it in, and tell us and give us, hey, this is Bob and Jane. They've been coming for 22 years. They love our, lasagna. Whatever, right? That is social media gold, maybe.
100%, yeah.
That's social media gold. And the hardest thing for you guys to get is that kind of gold because it's a pain in the ass for them to get it and remember it and email it and all this crap. But man, doing that, that's awesome. I'd even do a little bit of training on how to do it, a couple videos. All right, man. Joe, thank you so much for coming on and spending your morning with us. Well, I guess you're out in the middle of the Atlantic, so it's almost afternoon for you.
Yeah,
it's like, what, 11? Huh?
Almost 11, yeah.
Almost 11? That's pretty cool. It's almost 9.
Yeah, but thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Really passionate about, helping agency owners succeed. And that's why, I reach out to Lee, one of the guys, leaders in the agency space. I look forward to collaborating, and we have a webinar coming up.
This month, I think, about a month and a half, 2 months, we're going to be doing a webinar on it. I love this platform. This is awesome.
Looking forward to it. So really excited.
Joe, thank you so much for coming on. Is there any final thought? I want to make sure to get your domain name. Are there any final thoughts you want to throw out here before I start plugging you a little bit?
Yeah, my last word, I guess, wisdom, if you will, through building my own business as well, is that a great business, no matter it's an agency business or a tech business, consists of people, product, and process. What you need to be absolutely good at is make sure that you're selling the best product and you're maintaining the best relationship with the people. The process part is what you can build systems that will reward you in the future. And so even though there's upfront investment now, that's going to allow you to scale your agency a lot. So focus on the process so that you can focus, more on the people and the product side. And I think that makes a great business. So
yes, yeah. The way I explain that is like the more processes you create, the less you have to work because those processes do those little mundane tasks that you don't want to have to do. And so and that is the infrastructure part that I'm always talking about. The more you're laying your foundation, your infrastructure pieces, the less you have to work. Now, and let me just say to you, the real world is you're going to work just as much, but you're doing it at higher level. You're not doing the tactical. You're doing the strategic. You're doing leadership stuff instead of just writing code or whatever.
Yeah, things that you're uniquely capable of doing. And one last thing is that just remember that clients buy from people.
Yeah, always.
What they like, and especially when you're in charge of your brand, you're in charge of your small business marketing strategy. They want to hear from you, and so the more time you can spend with your clients, the better. Because at the end of the day, you're there building trust, you're there giving expertise, and if you can outsource or if you can get your team to do more of the tactical stuff, that's always better, right?
All right, Joe, thank you so much. Okay, www.HeyOrca.com. Joe is extremely accessible, okay? Just a good dude, nice guy, right? So, do you want got a phone number you want to drop out there or an email address or anything?
Yeah, if you want to collaborate, so we actually do a spotlight on agencies because I think a lot of small business owners they haven't considered how an agency can really supercharge their marketing and try and do everything on their own. So we try to do our part in educating it. So we do an agency spotlight every couple of weeks. So if you want to be featured on that, I'd love to have you guys on it. So you can send me an email. It's joe@heyorca.com. So it's joe@heyorca.com. And we'd love to get you onto the blog post. It's really simple, and I'd love to feature your agency as well.
Awesome. Good. Thank you so much. HeyOrca.com. Great platform, 14-day free trial. I don't make a dime off of this. This is not an affiliate thing. This is just a go do it. This is a damn cool product kind of thing. Okay. So, Joe, thank you so much, and you have a blessed day, and I will talk to everybody later. Bye.
Thanks.
perfect timing.
Hello, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And of course, let's get you over to the next episode. If you have not already, make sure to subscribe to my podcast. And if you are not following us on YouTube or in our private Facebook group, make sure to get over there and check those out as well. And of course, we're also always available at marketingagencycoach.com. Look forward to seeing you at all those channels. And I hope you're having a wonderful day.